Hello. This is a very spur of the moment YouTube video, if you can't tell from my very messy room and my face mask. I had originally posted on Instagram Son of Chaos's questions, for people to ask. And with every question that they've asked, I have wanted to make a longer response to it. So I decided to just make a YouTube video out of it. First question is, why did you decide to write in third person? I wanted to write it in first person originally because I really liked the way that Vladimir Nabokov wrote Lolita, and I felt like first person was such a good way to delve into somebody's mind. But I decided to write it in third person because I could still be lyrical with my prose in third person, but in third person it was a little bit more open and I could kind of shift perspectives a little bit. When are you launching your book? This is a question I actually got a lot on here. I plan to launch it probably next year. How did the vision change as you kept writing? I've been writing the book for 4 years now, and so the vision definitely changed a lot. Originally, it was a love triangle between her guard and her arranged marriage. Now it's nothing like that. I made Eric a villain. I made Hadrian not her guard but the executioner, and so it really it kept changing. It still changes to this day. I still reorder things and will change names and stuff. Originally Clarice's name was Evangeline, I think. It's really changed. I've changed names, I've changed settings. The more that I world build, the more intense it gets. How old were you when you got the idea for the Son of Chaos? I was 15 at the time. I was in freshman year, and I remember exactly when I got this idea. I was sitting in math class, and it was right before we were about to take our EOC because I was in math 1, and I really quickly snatched, because it just came to me. I grab a piece of paper out of my backpack, throw it on my desk, and I really quickly scribble an outline. I do the 3-plot story structure, which I've always done. So I do hook, plot 1, plot 2. And then wouldn't you know, 4 years later, it's become this masterpiece that people are actually interested in. Progress and publishing plans, traditional or self-publishing? Okay, I want to try to traditionally publish and see who's gonna bite. And if nobody bites, I'll self-publish. I originally really wanted to traditionally publish it because I felt like that was gonna be the most successful. But I also am leaning more towards self-publishing now because I do have a large audience. So I technically would already get the advertisement for it. I don't need to go through a traditional publisher. And with self-publishing, I would get the final say on everything. So the cover, the drafts, stuff like that. Though I definitely do want to go through an editor, so I might pay somebody to look at it. And also if I do traditionally publish it, somebody else would be making money for my book, whereas I would get 5-10%. And I just don't like that concept because I put in this work, I put in so much work. And the only thing that they would be putting in is maybe an editor promoting it in bookstores. But it would be promoted in bookstores anyways if it gets big enough to be self-published. So what inspired you and motivated you to write? So what motivated me to write? I have so many books that I've for example, Vladimir Nabokov's Lolita, I love that book. I've damaged the heck out of that copy. Where is my copy? Where's Lolita? This is the only book that I have 2 copies of because I love it so much. Here's my original copy when I first started reading Lolita. It's being held together by a piece of duct tape. This one, I've also began annotating. And this one's just a nicer copy that I can have that I won't need to hold together with duct tape. The way that I obsessed over this book, I wanted somebody to obsess over my book that way. I wanted somebody to feel just so entranced by my novel. And it's just a wonderful feeling, and I wanted people to feel that. So that's what motivated me to write. What part of the process has been the most fun and what part has been the hardest? The most fun has probably been maybe promoting my book. I really do like making reels and talking with beta readers and stuff like that. That has been a lot of fun for me, and getting feedback on my novel because 90% of the feedback I get is positive. So I'm always oh my gosh, am I really this good? Or are they just saying that? It's really crazy. And then the hardest part has probably been editing. The editing process is actually murdering me right now. I'm not even joking. It's literally killing me. I've probably edited, I've spent like months, years, probably 2 years editing at this point. I finished the first draft so long ago. I've made so many more drafts. It's just insane the amount of editing and time I spend editing. I haven't even got past like the past 20 chapters. I keep going back and editing them. It's so excessive because I'm somebody who plays with it and like nitpicks it until it's perfect, and that's just what I felt I had to do with this novel, because it's just I can't have it be bad. This is like the novel. This is gonna be the novel. It needs to be perfect when it gets published. So that's probably been the hardest part, is just me, my perfectionist mindset, trying to make it absolutely perfect. What's your book about? New fan, by the way. Okay, what is my book about? The simplest answer to that would be a war. My book is about a war. It's about a princess, crown princess at the time, who is in the middle of this war. It's about two opposing kingdoms, and in order to end the war, she sells herself to the king of the opposing kingdoms, end up ambushing her kingdom, killing everybody, and still kidnapping her and taking her with them. Even though Clarice is the main character, this is about the headsman all the way. It's very high fantasy, dragons, kingdoms, magic. How is publishing and edits looking? Next question. How's the second book coming along? Okay, yes, I haven't literally looked at the second book in like forever. It's coming along. I mean, I know what like the start goal and what the end goal is. I just don't know how to execute it. I'm really good at writing grotesque things, and part 1 is completely grotesque, whereas part 2 is really romantic. I love romance and I love writing romance, but I don't know how to execute it well, because I'm trying to do this enemies to lovers vibe, but it's different from the enemies to lovers I have in part 1. It's more like we were friends, miscommunication trope, now we hate each other, but you love me, but I don't love you, and it's very like miscommunication, like we don't know how each other feels, and like I'm trying to also force proximity between them, whereas he's in the stables and she's like farther away, and also create like a lot of background, and there's a lot that goes into Elderland. So part 2 is gonna be an entirely different project from part 1, but it's coming along. I know where it's at, kind of. Current read. Currently, I'm rereading Atonement. I love this book. I remember I watched the movie before I read the book, because the book was a little bit harder to get through. So I watched the movie, realized, yo, this movie's great. I need to read this book. Read the book. Fantastic. I love the way he writes too. I just really love this book. It's a really good book. You have to read it to understand what I mean. It's so good. It makes you so mad, so sad, probably gonna cry. I cried while reading this and watching the movie. Great book. A newer book I'm reading is called Invisible Women by Caroline Criado Perez. I hope I didn't butcher her name. It's really good. It's about data bias in a world designed for men, how everything in the world is male dominated, even though we might not see it. It's still very like in our roots to be sexist and have these sexist policies in place. So really great book. It's very data heavy, which is kind of hard for me to read, but I really do like it, and I feel super smart reading it, and I think for my senior thesis I might focus on this, but I don't know, and I could go into the senior thesis. They're talking about how the senior thesis has to be focused on your career, so I would probably have to do something writing wise, and they said that you have to do a project with it, but I'm like, I've already written a novel, so I don't really know what project I would do. It'd probably be like publishing my book. Emery would be like, you need to get it out there and like publish it, and if I truly do have it done by December, fingers crossed I actually do it by December, I will be able to publish it. So Invisible Women, great book. That's what I'm reading right now. I watched oh my gosh, what is her name?
She's a rich person on TikTok, Instagram Reels right now. She's really big, and she's like blowing up. It starts with a B. I think her name starts with a B. She's very classy. She has her Beyonce. She always talks about. She's always wearing Chanel and like gives the nice really food, like really nice food to her dog.
She made a video talking about the books that she read, and this was one of them, and I was like, yo, if this rich person is reading this, I need to read this. So that's why I got it. This will probably be my first video, because I have to post this one, unlike the other videos, which I keep hidden my camera roll away from anybody to ever see, because I had a YouTube channel back in freshman year, and the kids at school literally bullied me the heck out of me until I deleted all the videos. So stay tuned. Okay, and we shall go now, I think. Okay, goodbye. Hi, we're actually back. We're not leaving yet. So the reason I wanted to make this video was actually to answer the question, were there books, movies, or experiences that influenced your writing? And I wanted to say that my book is literally influenced by everything, and I can go literally into everything that it's influenced by. So that's why I wanted to make this video. Beauty and the Beast, love that movie. Hades and Persephone, love their story. And Manacled by Sin Lin Yu. Wendison is inspired by like Outlander. It's like a very Scotlandish-y vibe. Like Elderlin is inspired by Sicily, Hades and Persephone. It's also inspired by Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I really liked the fog that she used in that aspect, and like the way she talked about the flowers and that. So a lot of the flowers that she talks about in Rebecca are the flowers that I talk about in Elderlin. Beauty and the Beast, like the castle, the Haldorian castle is inspired by Beauty and the Beast, locked in this like internal winter, heavy on like the gargoyles and, you know, like the eeriness and the Victorianness of it all. I really did like the Beauty and the Beast feel that it gave. It's also inspired by Cupid and Psyche when she brings the lantern up to his face and she says Hadrian. That was inspired by Cupid and Psyche when she brought the lantern up to his face and saw that he was a god. It was inspired by Lolita, Vladimir Nabokov. I love the prose he writes, so my whole writing style really did take a feel of that. And also Eric is really inspired by Humbert because he kind of has that pedophile feel. Thousand Splendid Suns, also inspired by A Thousand Splendid Suns. Hadrian's smoking addiction was inspired by that. And then also, like I said, the older man kind of feel. The Ship of Magic, there's the fact that he has the mask and he like kisses her through the mask. That was originally what inspired the novel. Like that was like, that scene was like, oh yo, this guy needs to wear a mask. So that's where the mask came in for the High Lord. I love the fact that he wears a mask. Arsenion is inspired by Arabic cultures, so it's heavy on like the Aladdin-y feel. I love the outfits and stuff. They have like the veils. The gods are inspired by Roman mythology. The beginning of the book, Death Came to Her Again, was inspired by one of my teachers. Like there's so many different things that this book is inspired by. Clarice herself is inspired by me. A lot of her inner monologues have the diary entry feel because they are snippets of my own diary entries. Really anything Hermione inspired it. Deathments and Battle Scars inspired a large part of it, specifically in part 2, and so did Isolation, specifically in part 2. Atonement inspired it with the scene where she comes out of the water and it's like, it's all like on her like that. That inspired it. His smoking addiction was inspired by, like I said, A Thousand Splendid Suns and Atonement. Rain inspired it with the consummation scene and him having to watch the consummation scene, so that's why I made the headsman have to watch it. That's why I made the video, so that I literally was looking back at the video, editing it, and I was like, wait a second, I didn't even answer the one question that I made the video about. So now that I've answered it, now we can end the video. Thank you. Bye.